Hello friends, my name is Fernando Gomez and this is the installation and maintenance guide video for the LegalWise 2.0 project. My teammate is Jiang San, our project owner is Jaime Borras, and our instructor is Masoud Sadyari. We are all from Florida International University and this is our senior project. The objective of this video is to illustrate developers and administrators on how to install, maintain, improve, and deploy the LegalWise 2.0 source code and dependencies. Let's get right to it. Before proceeding with the installation of LegalWise 2.0, make sure you have the following tools installed in your system. All of these need to be properly installed before moving to the next step. If there is at least one tool in the list that you do not have, please pause this video and use the URL provided to download and install it. Once you have installed all tools mentioned in the list, you can proceed. You will use all of these during the installation and development process. LegalWise 2.0 is fully hosted in the Bluemix platform. It is a Liberty for Java application. To manage this application, we do the following. We navigate to the page bluemix.com. In the top right corner of that page, you will see a login button. Click on it. In the login form, put your Bluemix credentials. If you don't have these credentials, you should create an account. Once the credentials are placed, click on Login. Here, what you see is the dashboard of the full Bluemix organization. This organization belongs to Professor Sadyari. Make sure you have access to this organization and make sure you are currently in this organization. If you are not, change it. Once in the organization, find the Legal2 UI application and click on it. Here, this is the management page of our application. As you can see, the application is currently running. This is the application URL. If we click on it, we'll access the login page of our actual program. Going back to Bluemix, we can see here the different features used by this application. These are the files, these are the logs, these are the environment variables, and this is the code. We will talk about those later. Now we'll focus in the Git URL, which we will use to clone and download our application to our local environment. During this demo, we will clone the repository to the desktop. In your case, you can select a folder that is more appropriate to your needs. First, open the command prompt or terminal in the desktop. If you're using Windows, you can just press Shift and right click and you will see the option right there. Here you will have the command prompt right in the desktop. Use the command git version to make sure you have properly installed the Git tool. If you don't see a prompt like the one I got, pause this video, go back and fix the installation issues of your Git repository so you can call Git from anywhere in your folder system. Once your Git is working properly, go back to the Bluemix management page and copy the repository URL. Right here, if you choose copy link address, we'll have the URL in our clipboard. Choose the command git clone and then paste the URL you just copied. Press enter and give the system a couple of seconds so it can download all the code from the Bluemix server. When you are prompted for your credential, username and password, use your Bluemix credentials. Make sure that you have access, read and write permissions to this repository. If you don't, contact your professor and let them know you need this kind of access. I will put my credentials. After my credentials are properly placed, the system will start downloading all the code and put it in my desktop. After the download is finished, go to the folder. It should be called LegalWise2 UI1. Open this folder and check its content. The content should be like this. Since this is a Maven application also, you should have a POM file, you should have a manifest YML, which is a file used by Bluemix to build the application, and you should have the source, settings, target, etc., etc. This is a simple Java application and we will use Eclipse to open it and modify it. Now, to import the project into your Eclipse environment, we choose the menu File, Import, we choose the option Existing Projects into Workspace, we click Next, we click Browse, and then we locate our project. Your project will be whatever you downloaded it to. I find the project right here, I click on it, click OK, then you see the project already selected, you click the button Finish. After a couple of seconds, you will see that your project has been imported to your Eclipse environment. You see all of the folders, you see the Java resources. Give it a couple of seconds so the project gets compiled and all error messages disappear and you will have your project right here. If you want to change something in the project, just go ahead and do it, and then we'll show you how to deploy your changes back to the Bluemix server. Let's do a minor change and then put it back in Bluemix. Now, let's change any class. For example, the document wrapper. Let's do a minor change. Let's add some comments here. For example, the current document. This change won't have any effect. Of course, it's just comments, but we will see how to put those changes back into the Bluemix server. Go ahead and save your project. Now, before we can put it up again, we have to compile this, since this is a Maven project. To compile the project, go to the project folder right here. Open a command prompt right here using the Shift if you're using Windows. Shift right click. Open command window here. Now, since this is a Maven project, as we have been saying, the command mbn package will compile all the project and will download all dependencies in the POM file. It's going to take a shorter amount of time for me because all my dependencies are already downloaded. It should take maybe a minute or so in your case, if this is the first time you're importing the project. After all tests run, you will see the result. If it says build success, it means that the project was properly compiled and packaged, so we can proceed. If it doesn't, we have to fix the errors. Now we have to commit the changes we did to the GitHub repository we have in Bluemix. Once you download this project, there's already a Git folder attached to it. First, we do the following: git add .all. This is going to add to the changes that we're going to commit. Note that even though we did only one change, there have been many other files that have been changed. This is due to the packaging we just did using Maven package. Now let's commit the changes. Git commit small change. This is the title of the commit. Every change has been committed. Now we go ahead and push it to the Bluemix repository. Push origin master. Oh, sorry. It's push with an S. It's going to ask me for my credentials. Remember, you need to use your credentials, but before that, you need to be able to access this repository. You need to tell Professor Sayadi to grant you read and write access to this repository. Now the push is going to get processed. Every single change is going to be uploaded to the repository in Bluemix. And now it's done. We know the last version is up there in Bluemix. All we have to do is go ahead and check it. Another way of putting your code up in Bluemix is using the command cfpush. Cfpush is a command from the Cloud Foundry program, and it's going to push all your changes in Bluemix, and it's also going to stop your application, make the necessary changes, and then go ahead and start again your application. So when you use this command, your application up in Bluemix is going to be stopped for a little while, and it's going to start again once the process of pushing the information upstairs is done. This process might take a little longer than the simple git push. Give it a couple seconds, wait until it's finished, and then we'll check if what we change is actually up there in Bluemix. Note here in the Bluemix dashboard that the status is not running. This was due to the CF push that we did a couple seconds ago. Now, if you try to use your app, you won't be able to, because the app was halted in order to do the proper push. Now let's go back and see if the CF push finished. We see that it finished right here. So we refresh the page to see what's the status of the application right now. As we can see, the app is back and running. Let's see if the login page shows up accordingly. Here we go. Now let's look at the code that is actually up there in Bluemix right now to see if the changes we applied are up there also. Go here to the GitHub of LegalWise. We have to find main Java. The package is the wrapper. Remember, we changed the document class. We add this comment to the method getDocumentID. So the code is actually up there. So our application has been deployed. You can use this methodology also to change your code, but I'd recommend it to use Eclipse and run it in a local environment first, and then once you're done, you can deploy it, which is the better approach in these cases. Alright, we have covered the installation, maintenance, and deployment of the LegalWise 2.0. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at the information shown in the screen. I will be glad to go through the steps with you and give you some more tricks on how to work with Bluemix and the local environments and so on. Thank you for watching. You have a good day.